channel name is 80 for News Channel. In a move that has captivated the global diplomatic community, Russian President Vladimir Putin has announced plans for a high-profile tour of Asia, with stops in North Korea and Vietnam scheduled for the coming weeks. This trip marks a significant shift in Russia's geopolitical strategy as it seeks to deepen its ties with key regional powers, particularly in the face of ongoing tensions with the West. The decision to visit North Korea holds particular significance, as it represents the first time a Russian head of state has traveled to Pyongyang since the end of the Cold War. President Putin's meeting with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un is widely seen as an attempt to reinvigorate the long-standing, but often strained, relationship between the two nations. This visit is a clear signal that Russia is doubling down on its efforts to cultivate stronger ties with North Korea, explained a senior foreign policy analyst. Moscow is seeking to position itself as a counterweight to Western influence in the region and to bolster its strategic position vis-a-vis the United States and its allies. The timing of the visit is also notable, coming as North Korea continues to develop its nuclear and missile capabilities, raising concerns about the potential for escalation and conflict on the Korean peninsula. Many observers believe that Putin's outreach to Kim Jong-un is aimed at securing Pyongyang's cooperation in navigating these tensions and ensuring that Moscow maintains a seat at the table when it comes to any future negotiations or resolutions. Russia has a vested interest in maintaining a degree of influence over North Korea's actions, said a regional security expert. By strengthening ties with Pyongyang, Putin is essentially hedging his bets, ensuring that Russia has a voice in the ongoing dialogues and decision-making processes surrounding the Korean peninsula. Following his visit to North Korea, President Putin will then travel to Vietnam, another key strategic partner for Moscow in the Asia-Pacific region. This leg of the tour is seen as an effort to deepen Russia's engagement with Southeast Asia, a region that has become increasingly important in the global geopolitical landscape. Vietnam, in particular, has emerged as a crucial ally for Russia, with the two countries enjoying a robust economic and diplomatic relationship that has only strengthened in recent years. The visit is expected to focus on further enhancing this partnership, with discussions likely to center on issues such as trade, investment, and regional security. Russia's outreach to Vietnam is a clear indication that it is seeking to diversify its international alliances and reduce its reliance on the West, explained a regional affairs analyst. By strengthening ties with countries like Vietnam, Moscow is positioning itself as a viable alternative to Western influence in the Asia-Pacific, a move that could have significant implications for the balance of power in the region. The Russian president's tour of North Korea and Vietnam also comes against the backdrop of broader geopolitical tensions in the Asia-Pacific. The region has become an increasingly contested arena, with China, the United States, and other major powers vying for influence and strategic advantage. In this context, Putin's visit to North Korea and Vietnam can be seen as an attempt to maneuver between these competing powers, leveraging Russia's unique position as a global player with deep historical ties to both countries. Russia is, in many ways, seeking to position itself as a broker, a neutral party that can navigate the complex web of regional rivalries and alliances, said a diplomatic analyst. By strengthening its ties with North Korea and Vietnam, Moscow is signaling that it is a key player in the Asia-Pacific, one that cannot be ignored or sidelined in the ongoing geopolitical struggles. The Russian president's tour of North Korea and Vietnam also comes against the backdrop of broader geopolitical tensions in the Asia-Pacific. The region has become an increasingly contested arena, with China, the United States, and other major powers vying for influence and strategic advantage. In this context, Putin's visit to North Korea and Vietnam can be seen as an attempt to maneuver between these competing powers, leveraging Russia's unique position as a global player with deep historical ties to both countries. Russia is, in many ways, seeking to position itself as a broker, a neutral party that can navigate the complex web of regional rivalries and alliances, said a diplomatic analyst. By strengthening its ties with North Korea and Vietnam, Moscow is signaling that it is a key player in the Asia-Pacific, one that cannot be ignored or sidelined in the ongoing geopolitical struggles. The Russian president's foray into Asia also has significant implications for the broader landscape of global governance and international security. As tensions between Russia and the West continue to simmer, Moscow's efforts to bolster its regional alliances could have far-reaching consequences for the stability and balance of power on the world stage. This visit is a clear indication that Russia is doubling down on its pivot to Asia strategy, observed a geopolitical expert. By deepening its ties with North Korea and Vietnam, Moscow is effectively diversifying its international relationships, reducing its dependence on the West and potentially complicating efforts to maintain a united front against its interests. Furthermore, the visit raises concerns about the potential for increased military and security cooperation between Russia and its Asian partners, particularly in the realm of defense and nuclear technology. This could have profound implications for regional stability and the global non-proliferation regime. The big question is how the United States and its allies will respond to this emerging Russia-Asia axis, said a regional security analyst. Will they seek to counter it through diplomatic pressure and economic coercion, or will they attempt to engage with Moscow and its partners in a more constructive manner? The stakes are high, and the outcome could have far-reaching consequences for the future of international relations. Ultimately, President Putin's tour of North Korea and Vietnam reflects Russia's broader attempts to navigate the shifting global order and assert its influence on the international stage. As the geopolitical landscape continues to evolve, with the rise of China and the ongoing tensions between Russia and the West, Moscow is clearly seeking to diversify its partnerships and alliances, strengthening its presence in key regions and positioning itself as an essential player in the emerging multipolar world. This visit is a clear indication that Russia is not willing to be sidelined or marginalized on the global stage, said a foreign policy analyst. By deepening its ties with North Korea and Vietnam, Putin is sending a message that Russia remains a force to be reckoned with, a country that cannot be ignored or dismissed as it navigates the complex challenges of the 21st century. As the world watches closely, the coming weeks will undoubtedly shed more light on the implications of this high-profile diplomatic tour and the extent to which it will shape the future of Russia's relations with Asia and the broader global landscape.